Hear me. Y'all hear me? And can you hear Blue Bacon? Can you want to just say
hello?
Hi? Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, and then awesome. How's the audio? How's the audio? Is the volume the same for me and Blue?
Same question in my chat, guys. If you have audio issues, you let me know.
Yeah, should I increase mine or decrease? I had an issue last time, but just for some reason my Yeti microphone just made like max volume, and I have no idea why that is. Loud and clear. Okay, so 911 Revisit is in the house. That's life, but not as we know it. Audio is good, and then we have Christoph Off Die 12, John Heidi Wrestle Native, and then Wrestle Natives. Bless up Matt Blue Bacon and chat. All right, so it's good to go, and then I just want to double check the Rumble. Okay, Rumble is it working? And okay, okay, it's working. I'll just mute that and I'll just close this. So Rumble's working. I have the chat on a separate window. Okay, let's see if this one's loud and clear. Okay, it's working. Odyssey's working. So we're live on multiple front ends. All right, audio's good. And then, guys, as always, here's a link to the links. So I put the link to the link on everything that I cover here, and so on. So you can see the links. You can view them beforehand, afterhand, and so on. And I'll just read this out, then we'll do some quick housekeeping, so you guys know what's going on in the chat. So I mean in the show. So today's show is gonna be a special one. The first quote debate I've had on this live stream ever. And again, I say debate because I don't view it as a debate. It's literally, it's like do our eyes work or don't they work? All right. So anyways, join me as I quote debate the mainstream debunker Blue Bacon about the relatively tiny rubble pile at the World Trade Center WTC on 9/11 after most of these 7 towers turned to dust. Here's that trailer, and then here's a trailer. Just show the trailer quickly, or maybe show it after. Yeah, I'll show that one after. But yeah, you get the idea. I have it over here in the background. I'll bring it. Let's see if I can show it there. It's over there. I was gonna take some photos of it. So anyways, so an engineer sent me that. I'll read that as we get to the stream, but I will continue further. And here's Blue Bacon links and so on. He did a couple hit pieces on me. But it's all good. Anyways, and there's his channel. And MES note, as always, go to mes.fm/links. And links to everything will be there. Plus, drop down, you can see my math videos. You can see the 9/11 Truth, Debunking Flat Earth, MH370 PSYOP, etc. Go to MES links and become a super fan, guys, as well. $15 a month Canadian. I mean, Canadian is about $3 American, and so on. It's anyways, the links there. Donate. Send me crypto, PayPal, and so on. Everything's there. Just donate button, and do that, and you get cool emojis if you become a super fan, and so on. Okay, the next setup, Telegram. Oh yeah, MES links. Telegram is I usually throw everything in there first, and then I go over links there, and also. Yeah, so basically I'll try to poll each week. So I have poll results from last week. I'll go over them soon. And so next week I'm going to do a December 7th live stream. Hudson 3 terabyte hard drive deep dive. A lot of his experiments have never been uploaded online, and I got it all online. So so when I went and visited John and Nancy Hutchison, it's pretty epic stuff. And then December 14th, you do not want to miss this one. 14th live stream. The MH370 teleportation video creator joins the show. I talked to him. He's a real deal. And if you are still on the fence about it and you believe Ashton Forbes or not, watch the stream and we'll put that all to bed. It's just a big giant hoax, but it was absolutely epic. So the guy finally got back to me, and it's gonna be an epic live stream. All right, let's see some other stuff. Oh yeah, some troubleshooting. MES speaks slower and pronounce words more clear and less monotone, etc. All right. So the next setup is so here's a before and after photo. So what I have in the links right here, I have basically I have a bunch of notes for the Tiny Rubble Pile, and then I had Blue Bacon notes, but I wasn't given anything before, but I asked. But it's all right. He'll have a presentation and so on. And then the other one I have is some random notes. Some background info and just my thoughts on this whole scenario. But first of all, MES poll results. I'll power through a tiny bit of this. Yeah, I'll power through a bit of this, and then we'll get straight into it. And Blue, let me know if you want to present first or after, depending on what the workaround is. Like once.
I'd love to hear what you have to say, and then I'll see what I have in regards to what you brought up.
All right. So I'll power through some of this. Some of it will be pretty pretty hilarious. Some of it will be we'll get once I power through this one, we'll get straight into the nitty gritty and so on. So MES poll results from my last live stream. In the last live stream, it came up when I was doing the. Let me just pull up the. So I'll share this one here. I'll click this. Okay. Yeah. So in my last live stream, I'm gonna switch screens that I'm sharing. Share. Switch screen window. I'm gonna go to MES Links Telegram. Okay, so I'll switch this one here. So in the last live stream, I did a poll on who this guy looks like. Is it Alex Jones or is it Bill Hicks? So where's the okay, this one right here. So this right here, I'm gonna stop the poll right now. So what I do is every week I do a poll, and then, so this one right here, I asked who is this man, and the answer is so 50% of the people voted Bill Hicks. All right, so it's actually Bill Hicks. I cannot. When I saw this one, I was absolutely floored. I thought this is Alex Jones. So anyways, and then a distant second was Alex Jones clone from Bill Hicks DNA. All right, I'll just type this. Poll results are in. The person is Bill Hicks. Anyways, yeah, so I'm not sure if you're aware of that conspiracy, Blue Bacon. Some people think that Alex Jones Bill Hicks became Alex Jones.
Oh, that's a new one to me. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, but it's just the look is just I just absolutely ridiculous. Like I can't. It's like the way they look. Like this person right here. Like, can you see my screen? Who does this person look like? Like, does that look like Alex Jones?
I mean, I could see it. Alex Jones. I could definitely see the similarities.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, I can't unsee it. But yeah. So some people think it's Bill Hicks. I was asking in the last live stream for a Bill Hicks, Alex Jones expert, if someone can chime in. But anyway, so that's that. Okay, the next setup is, so speaking about polls, I've noticed that you had a poll too. I'll go over your poll.
Yes. Yeah, I had a bit of fun with that.
Yeah, okay. Let's see this one right here. How do every time I gotta click this button, guys, share a different window. I'll go and share this one. Because I'll try to do the web Telegram. I had some issues last time, so I'm using the desktop one. Okay, so you go to the poll right here. So Blue Bacon also has a poll, which I voted government plant. All right, so I voted government plant. But then it gets the winner leading. Yeah, so the poll was, what do you think will happen during the debate about the allegedly, quote, Tiny Rubble Pile? Okay, he's copying my quotation method. All right, anyways, left behind after the 9/11 attacks. I'm accused of being a government plant. Well, yeah, I already suspected that already, even in the email. And I also think...
I remember seeing something between you and another guy where you thought it was a CIA agent. Which, I mean, if they're hiring and
Well, again...
I'm not yet, but I'm not going to say no.
And then I added in the notes, I also think you're a Freemason, but that's just...
No.
Okay.
But I do have friends who are, if that counts.
Oh, really? That semi-counts. I have a cousin that actually is a 32 degree Freemason, he says. And so I saw...
one step below the top.
So I saw a photo of him, like on his Facebook, and it's like you see all these white guys, and then there's a brown guy, and I'm like, what the hell? You can tell which one's my cousin. But anyways, so the reason is I put this as above, so below symbol. That's pretty interesting. Anyways, I have like an obsession with symbols. It also looks like your logo also looks like the special relativity symbol. But anyways, so that.
That was unintentional.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that.
It's supposed to look like a shield with bacon on it.
Okay. No, that is pretty cool. All right. So according to Blue Bacon, he says he's not a Freemason. So we gotta. But they all say that.
But there's still time.
But they all say that.
Yeah. Listen, I wouldn't say no to it.
Okay.
I've been in a Masonic lodge. It was shockingly boring.
Okay. So now you're in a Masonic lodge. All right. So I think.
Well, no, I've been inside. I did a little tour of the one in DC.
Okay. So you went inside. I just took a photo when I was in California of one that was like people threw like rocks and broke the window.
Oh.
I can try to, I'll pull that out next time. But anyways, I don't want to get too distracted. So next setup, anyways, full disclosure, here's just, again, my whole thoughts of this whole scenario so you understand where I'm coming from. So anyways, Blue Bacon is likely a government agent. Again, just my opinion so far from what I've gathered. Has already made 2 hit pieces against me. The first one he realized was completely bogus, the Shadows one, but still has it up. And the second is the usual nonsense, which I'll go over in next live stream or make a video on it.
I would like to interject. I wouldn't say I realized it was completely bogus. I recognize that there was an issue with the shadows, and I had the incorrect shadow source in the original video because it was just sort of a throwaway thing, like, oh yeah, it's this. My second video corrected that and said, okay, the shadow wasn't from the building. I figured it out, and here's why. And if you want to learn more, if you feel like that's not true, and you want to see what alleged nonsense I'm putting out there, the link is there.
Yeah, I put the links, and that's another thing. If you could put the links to the videos you critique on your channel as well, like everything I put the links there so that people don't listen to me. They can go and click your link. Like I have both links here, and then yeah. So again, both hit pieces were about the quote planes on 9/11, which I contend are advanced 3D image technology. While Blue contends, I assume that Osama bin Laden turned the towers to dust, etc. Anyways, having some fun with that. And then also I covered his first hit piece at the 2-hour mark of MES Livestream 58. You can click the link there. And again, I put the links there because I don't want people to go with anything that we say. Just basically pick and choose. I mean, basically look at the stuff that we're referencing and then have them choose, have them decide whatever they think. And also here, MES mocking MES, yeah, Blue mocking MES on his community page. So I noticed also you have a bunch of posters mocking my replies to you, and so on. You can see them in here and so on. And again, I'm saying stop with the usual act because I actually believe you are acting. But we'll get to that in a bit. And again, when we're dealing with 9/11, so 9/11 involved, again, you have to view it from my perspective or even a conspiratorial perspective. So my perspective is 9/11 involved the government murder of its own people, genocide of Iraq, where I was born, and a demonstration of directed free energy technology. Thus, anyone willingly or unwillingly, through willful ignorance, covering up such crimes is pure evil. So again, Blue Bacon is more interested in pushing the narrative of, quote, crazy conspiracy theorists rather than pondering if he is complicit in murder and genocide. So again, basically what I'm trying to say is if you're mocking someone, make sure you're 100% right. Otherwise, again, that's just,
I agree.
Yeah, again, because especially when we're dealing with murder and worse. Going further, so Blue Bacon's role, again, this is my view of you. We'll get into the stuff soon, but again, it's just full disclosure just so we know we all are on the same page. So that audience doesn't think I'm just some random guy just throwing out stuff. Basically, so my view is Blue Bacon's role is similar to the Ash conformity experiments. Basically to lie so that people avoid seeing what their eyes tell them. If you haven't heard about the Ash conformity experiments, here's an example of them. So they'll have a bunch of people. You'll have a line. They'll tell them which one is the same height. And then everyone in that group is an undercover agent except one person. And then they all say this one here, number 2, and the person will see that number 3 is there, but sometimes actually believe this one is or conform to the group. So basically, again, that's why I don't view this as a debate. And also Ash experiments also reveal that even having just one person speak the truth, the effect of groupthink is greatly reduced, and hence why I stand up publicly to Bacon's hit pieces and so on. All right, going further, and then one more non-9/11 stuff. So if you've been following my Telegram, I've been saying Bitcoin and XRP will pump, which they have, and Hive has yet to really pump. So not financial advice, but if you're willing to invest or gamble an amount you're willing to lose, again, don't blame me if anything happens. And then stock up on some Hive and give me 10% tip if it pumps. All right, so that is that random stuff. So now we're pretty much full steam ahead into this stuff here. So yeah, I'll go over. So now basically this is all of the Tiny Rubble Pile one. And initially we had other discussions of what kind of topics we'll cover, but then again, I want to go through to see if you're actually willing to just admit to your audience, this is tiny. Like, I don't know what else to say. All right, so first of all, we'll show this one right here. This is the Tiny Rubble Pile. This is the before and after. So this is LiDAR data. This one's LiDAR data, I think like 7 days or so after. And some of the stuff is below ground. Even the Building 6 one is actually below ground. And I'll read that as we go, but I will show that quickly right here. Okay. So, all right. I'll just actually I'll have it here. I'll show them in a bit once I get to the topic there. I have a whole bunch of stuff here. All right, so before we get to that, I just want to show the video here. So here's the trailer of that. Actually, we'll show that after. All right, I'm just going to continue further. So we already went through this. Next one. So for those in the Blue Bacon's audience who hasn't seen my work, so if you go to this one, link right here is linked to all of my 9/11 stuff. A couple of them were deleted by YouTube for literally no reason. Actually no reason, like, but the ones that stayed on and so on. And also for those, because a lot of times, especially in your audience, they conflate real conspiracies with the controlled opposition ones, such as the Alex Jones and Kelly Dufire to some extent, but that could be, but also Flat Earth and so on, and David Icke and all those clowns. So for those unaware, that is not this channel. So we're here. 9/11 is a big one, and so on. And so this is my. I'll put this in the chat here. Okay. Methyl Miner says, slow down a little. You're speaking kind of quickly. All right, for sure. All right. Seismic evidence game. Okay, so I will slow down. Okay, I will slow down. Okay, so we have this. Next setup. I'll go back to over here. Okay, so now we'll get to the nitty gritty. So this is the before and after photo. This is a LiDAR. This one's LiDAR data. This one is just a model. It's pretty much a scale. So before and after photo shows most of the Twin Towers rubble at ground level before Building 7 fell. So I sent this one, I sent this photo right here. This is ground level. There's North Tower. And 16 people survived in there. You have 14 in stairwell B and then 2 others just like slightly above it. And there's Building 7. And this building's 8 stories. There's the before and after. So when I first saw this image, I stopped everything I was doing just to see if this is a real image. These are real images, and it was real. And if you notice also the water level, it's the water level is actually So this is actually built underneath the water level. So they had to build a bathtub, basically a slurry wall or concrete, basically a bathtub to prevent the Hudson River from flowing in. And these are 2 500-ton buildings. Fell down, did not break it. Otherwise, it would, if it actually collapsed in any way, demolition or gravity collapse, it would have broken the slurry wall, and all of Manhattan would have been flooded. And again, this is ground level. Before any cleanup is there, it's still, and you can see Building 7 turning the dust from one side and one side only. So that, so I sent that one to Blue Bacon. Right. I'll close some stuff. Okay. So I will close this poll. ChatGPT. Miss links. Okay. Go close this. Close this. Yeah. So I sent that to I sent that to Blue, and Blue said that, to look at quote other photos that show a quote much less debris pile. Again, I don't see. Here's an email if you don't mind sharing. It says, I'm not acting dumb. I would appreciate if you would please stay on top of the photo. Shows collapsed buildings. Yes. Okay, collapsed building. Yes. However, not only were the towers mostly hollow. All right. So now we're doing the hollow building nonsense.
I can prove that later, but you keep going.
Well, again, first of all, mostly hollow. That's accounted for in that most of the air when you have so like when you account for the rubble, you have from the top to the bottom. Okay, from the top to the bottom, mostly air, and that's already accounted for. Now we have.
No, I can account for that, but I don't want to interrupt.
Yeah, I know. So you're saying mostly air, but again, mostly air by volume. By mass, there's mostly steel, mostly concrete. So again, in here, there's barely any rubble. Okay. In other words, by mass, there's barely any rubble. Even by volume, it should be. One point. I would contend it would be about 15%, probably even to higher percent of the height should have been rubble, like 15 to probably 30 plus floors would be the rubble pile. But the other thing is there wouldn't be a debate, is the one thing. If something of this magnitude happened, it would. Okay, 9/11 version says, let BB talk for a bit. You can counter it. Oh, well, he's going to do a presentation. That's the thing.
Yeah. No, I'll let him talk. No, that's fine.
Well, the thing is, Blue Bacon's he's going to do a presentation, so that's why I'm just going to go here and then. I wanted to see the presentation beforehand, but again, we'll do it live. All right. So, anyways, so somehow he's saying this is all hollow. Or like this will account for this. Again, I just don't even. Until we get something of. It's going back to the thing. Until we get something of substance. So you may want to check your numbers. Again, I made a typos at 500 tons, 500,000 tons. Your numbers regarding the weight of the buildings and the fact that the debris pile extended well outside the original pre-collapse footprint of the towers. It's barely there. Like it was all like, this is around from the letter G. That's about 600 feet because each one's 208 feet. So it's about 600 plus feet here. And again, it's all just, it's just dust, paper, and a tiny bit of debris.
Is that 600 feet from the center? So 600 feet radius?
Around 600 feet radius. So we'll say from the center, around roughly there, I would assume, give or take, however many. But again, just looking at this visually, this was enough for me to pretty much pause my whole life. and then now we have Blue Bacon saying, no, it's actually hollow. All right, so that's something else. It reminds me of Richard Gage nonsense. Okay, so that was that. And also, he's saying that you may also want to look at photographs of the collapse towers, which show a much less flat debris pile than the one you chosen to present as evidence. No, this is evidence. No other photo is going to show anything different. And if they do show something different, then something's up with the photos. It doesn't work that way. This photo is, in my opinion, irrefutable proof the towers turn to dust in midair. All right, and you can even see
now,
building 7 turn to dust in there.
But you've used other photos in other videos. Would those be okay to use as evidence?
You could use anything. What I'm trying to say is they will not show anything different from this one. It's like zooming into it's like zooming into some of the steel and saying, hey, look, there's a bunch of steel. No, there isn't. No, there isn't. Not at all. Okay, so that's that. And also, when I first came across the before and after photos turning dust, I stopped everything I was doing, and because this was reality shattering evidence. And again, you can see my my track record too. Everything I put in, you can see it. June 22nd, 2017. What happened on 9/11 is irrefutable. The towers turned to dust. So this is not a collapse. This is not an explosive demolition. This is literally frothing up into dust. And there's a spire right there, 900 foot, pretty much Eiffel Tower height. You can see it sticking out there, turning dust. There's the before, after. All right, it's like, all right, and there's the hole. So this is the building 6, a complete hole, and this one it goes below the ground level, and this sphere right, or this dome right there, barely touched. So again, barely anything went outside of that footprint. Okay, and the sphere wasn't squashed either. So we have, I have like infinite content. Okay, continue further. So trailer, yeah. So now we'll get to the trailer. Oh, you want to say something, Blue?
No. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you. I think maybe like made a noise.
No, it was a comment. I was just giving him a little dirty look.
Okay, yeah. Just because there's it automatically showed your face. I think it was because you sniffed or something. All right. So trailer was okay. So now we'll go to the trailer. Trailer was the 3D printed before and after of the World Trade Center that a geoengineer from Alberta, Canada, sent me. So we will start. So what I'm going to try to do quickly, see if I could open this up because I had some issues. In here, open Telegram desktop, view in channel. Okay, so I don't have that. I also have to open it like this. Okay, so we have this one here. I'll just show the video. Yeah, I'll just open it right here. So I'm gonna click. Now we have to go each time. I gotta go each time and share. Switch screen. So whenever I show Telegram, I have to do this. Okay, so now we're sharing this one. You can see the screen. This is the whoops. I have a 2.5x speed, normal. And play. I don't know why it doesn't get bigger. Okay, I got it. Can you see the window, or is it not showing the video?
I see the window.
Is it showing like a full window? Because it might be some issue.
There's a little bit of the chat to the left there. I think that's the.
Okay, no. So I have to share the other part because when I open it, it opens up a separate window for some reason. Okay, switch screen quickly, and this one here. So it opens up a media viewer, just the Telegrams like that. All right, so we have this. So here is before and after. Here's a photo, video of it, just walking through. And this one, it's a bit bigger than the other one. Like the after photo, it's a bit bigger, so it's actually smaller debris pile. And also some notes here. Some of the stuff sticking out, the ones that don't match. Like I'll show that soon. Yeah. So like this stuff here, some of these, the really tall ones, that's from the LiDAR data. This one might be a crane. The smaller spikes are actually the ones that are were actually the remains of the WTC. It's even smaller. Yeah. So, but these ones, it could be a crane. It's just that the way it works, they have like a plane or a helicopter flying, and it shoots down. So some of the this was like I think 7 days after. So some of it might be a crane or some other cleanup crew there. All right. And then you zoom into the building 6 and completely hollow inside. Go straight there, yeah. And there's these giant towers. All right, so that again, and there is, see if I could, it's over there. Going back to here, okay, so now we have to figure out, and each time I will switch screens, go back into Telegram. What just happened? Telegram. It's not showing my Telegram anymore. I do not know why it's showing. Okay, so now that is gone. Okay, so that It's having some issues. Why does it just share? Okay, nope, not switch screens. Just show the Telegram. Okay, there it is. We're back. We're back in this. So I gotta power through. All right, and there is the photos of them. And my goodness, it does not. Okay. I will try to do. I'll try to fix it once you present. So it'll just be easier. And next time, I just want to go to the Skype. Okay, so media. Actually, I'm gonna try to share a monitor. No, that's not gonna work because my monitor is really big, so it's not gonna show everything properly. Okay, switch right here. All right, so media view. Let's see if you could see. 1 second. Just I think I got the right one. Okay, this one here, media viewer. Okay, we're showing it now. Let me know if you can see this big one. So there's before and after.
Yes.
Okay, there's the before and there's the after, and yeah. So the big tall spikes, those ones are actually could be a crane, just the way it looks from the LiDAR data. And whoops, and that's some other stuff. Okay, so we got that out of the way, and let's read some info on it, and let's go back into the browser. The browser. Where is the browser? Not the browser. Okay, Telegram. Okay, I'm gonna close this thingy, and go back into sharing. Okay, so we're back. Switch windows. Okay, so now you can see this is the tweet I did 7 years ago. All right. So we got that, and also so the LiDAR data shows below ground level on some regions. Yeah, they actually show below ground even in the center of building 6 there. Okay, so yeah, I don't want to open up in there and each time have to go and switch. I'll try to go web. .telegram. Actually, it's all right. Okay, this is. Let's see if this
the
plays.
best 3D print I've ever made.
Okay,
it's really good.
Okay, I'm just gonna have to view this. Actually, last try. I'm gonna see if I can zoom in. Okay, it zooms in probably. Okay.
And quite large. Does a good job at communicating. Check out my computer stand.
Actually, no. This was the other part. Anyways, there was a LiDAR data. I think I didn't upload that one there. Okay, so no, I forgot to upload that one because I think he said don't upload his voice. But anyways, we'll get to a new one. Okay, so but anyways, so that's below ground. I have it right here. We'll just show it here. It's actually much easier to just show it instead of the yeah. I think this is actually way easier than just showing the photo. I will stop sharing so we can see it bigger. I'll just confirm stop sharing, and now we could pin this one. All right. So for those in the chat, so this one right here, I think one of your subscribers asked how much money it costs because it seems pretty expensive. This is the after. So building 6 right here, you can put your whole finger in and it's literally below ground and so on. And the other part I wanted to point out, this is, let's go back here. So this is this is the full go, but then for some reason, like on one side, when it goes one way, the color is different than it goes backwards. So it's black on the other side, and then so it's black on this side, and then white-ish on this side. But anyways, so this is, and also another part is the basement floor is 70 so I think he accidentally made it pretty much the scale on the basement side. So the base right here is about 1/3 of the width of the Twin Towers. And the basement went to, from ground level, went to the bedrock 70 feet. So, and this is 208 feet, so that's 1/3. So literally, that's the basement. Is this little tiny base, and they were barely damaged. So something magical happened on 9/11. All right, so that's, I'll unpin this one here. All right. Okay, so we got, I know we have 40 people in the chat. In my chat, you probably have more because mine's not a dedicated random it's like a math channel. All right, and also, so going back to this, so a geoengineer sent me that. Okay, so now I have okay, I'm gonna go back to the other thing. I was seeing my face twice.
Sorry, yeah.
No, it's all right, because I'm gonna switch back into this. All right, go back into share with sound. Okay, so now we're back in here. I'll try to minimize randomly getting into the Telegram. I'll try to open up the other links for it. But anyways, so okay, so the other part here. Note also that I have so again, this was sent to me from by a geoengineer. I ended up talking to him afterwards. So he follows my channel and he agrees. Yeah, obviously the towers turn to dust. So again, it's not a debate. So also note that I have a bachelor in civil engineering and a minor and minor in master's engineering and mining engineering. I guess I made a typo. I put it twice. Civil and not a minor, in a master's. Yeah, I was trying to rush through the notes in mining engineering. All right, so I have a so I have a bachelor in civil engineering and a master's in mining engineering. You could search up my name. You'll see my thesis on my master's thesis on that. Okay, going back here and going back into this. Yeah, so and also want to make another point. So I have and I have several engineering friends that understand the truth of 9/11. When I show them it, and it's pretty obvious. But they're afraid to speak out. And also, one friend quit his job at Parsons because he couldn't stand working for military contractors. And here's a comment from my friend. I blacked out his face. So hopefully more money, almost certainly smarter people. He's looking for another job. I don't love working for evil Parsons. I mean, I kind of do, but we straight up do NSA, cell phone hacking, and directed energy weapons and drone strikes. I want to work for a company that is known as a civil engineering company and not one that is known as a military contractor. And again, Parsons, they've developed a Zeus directed energy weapon. And the difference between this one, this is Parsons right here. They're actually got contracted with the military, and they got the Zeus, and they have to name it after their freaking Rome or Greek god. All right, this is a ground-based direct energy weapon system for production. But again, the one we're talking about is the Cold Dew. It's not just basic lasers or microwaves. It's way more advanced, able to turn towers into dust. All right, so now I'm going to show a bunch of photos of the tiny rubble pile on 9/11. Okay, let's see if this would open up. Okay, actually, yeah, so I have a bunch of photos here. Okay, good, I have it already in my OneDrive. So here's a link there, guys. You can go to tinyurl, I think I put tinyurl.com/WTC Rubble, and also I have a poll right here I made just before this. So this direct energy weapon. Okay, so there's a bunch of photos right here. It's not just one photo. Every photo shows the same thing. Let's see if it, okay, so there's the photo. You got literally, the towers are gone. Again, there's a 70 feet to bedrock, 208 feet. So basically the basement floor, a lot of disinfo agents say, oh, it's the rubble one in the basement side. The basement's barely damaged, and there's cars even driving out after it, and again, is mostly intact. And 70 feet is a bit absolutely tiny. The width of each tower, and look at this. Okay, you don't even see this in the rubble. You don't even see this amount. So this right here, what I'm showing you, is more steel than what was actually in the rubble. And this is like literally just the lobby and so on. All right, and here's another one. Here's a sphere, which was in the center of the WTC, towering above the rubble. All right, so I would like to see your volume calculations for that. And if you see the lobby where these holes right here, where this like trident shape right here, that's the lobby top there. It's towering above the rubble. And you can see the exterior columns are vertical. Nothing crushed them. So why are they vertical? Okay, they're literally vertical. They're not toppled over. They're towering above the rubble. You got literally a sphere there. And also you have 300 search and rescue dogs everywhere, and they're not burnt any either, so it's very little heat and so on. And yeah, and you'll see even on the side here, you see just glass with interesting damage when you look at them closely. It's got like circular holes and so on. So this photo was taken by a friend's friend who's a firefighter, and he has a whole hard drive of all these photos, and he sent me, this is one of them. And again, you can see, I think this is a south tower. You can see this part right here. So this chunk right here somehow got debolted. So the bolts are the strongest part. They're literally bolted to the columns there. And they got debolted somehow without bending anything out. And it literally just went, it's as if it got, the actual bolts got turned to dust, and then it just shifted outward. All right, so this is absolutely mind-boggling. And again, there's the lobby height. The rubble's absolutely tiny. And this is a firefighter friend taking the photos. And he is a firefighter. And again, he also understands that the rubble pile is tiny, aka 9/11 is what it seems, which is a giant psyop. All right, so going further, here's the before and after. Again, I'd like to see your presentation on this. And here is, this is, I think, on the day or the night of it. You see people walking, literally walking, and there is the exterior columns that it's still vertical. And again, towering. So in other words, somehow you have the exterior columns, everything's falling in, and then the bottom ones aren't crushed in any way, and or even bent or even twisted. And then there's ground level. So again, absolutely tiny. and this one is not showing. Interesting. Okay, now here's another part. Just building 3. Building 3. This is if you can see this view right here. There's the Twin Towers. There's building 3. There's a tiny corner of building 3. All right, it's towering above the rubble. And then the only thing of building of this is the south tower that's higher than it. The only thing higher than of this one here, the south tower, is literally just the exterior column that's somehow standing with nothing crushing it. And in this,
do you happen to have the dates on any of these photos?
These photos, this photo is all on Judy Wood's book. I'll have to sift through it, but
Gotcha.
it wouldn't be. These photos, you could probably see them on the website. I could do a reverse image search. But again, a lot of these photos are either on the day or night. But the one I showed you beforehand was the night, maximum 2 days after. Or this one here is maximum 2 days. The person who sent me said, I think 11. No, yeah, the person who sent me this, he said it was taken the night of, or so the photos that he sent were the night of, or 1 to 2 days after. And then these ones, this one's I think the night, but I'll show you a video as well of like literally seconds after. So what I'm trying to say is these show the same thing they show a day after, a week after, the same thing will show the seconds after. When I showed you the building 7, this one here, building 7 is right there. This is on 9/11. This is building 7 right there. Okay, going back here. Again, and these are people walking. We'll get to that bit. So this is building 3, a tiny column, and it's gone. So it turned to dust.
You don't happen to have the focal length of the lens used in that photo, do you?
Well, you can look at that. I don't have those details. So,
okay.
But I noticed you do have some knowledge of photographs and of photography and so on. But yeah, no. But again, you can look at them. I'm just trying to say nothing will won't change the fact that what we're seeing, our eyes are working. And now this is a whole bunch of people walking on the rubble. This is probably the day or so. And the fuming is interesting. It was fuming literally, I think, months, years after. Still, and I call it fuming because it's unknown source. It's weird. There's very little heat. People walking on it.
Well, my concern with that statement is that if it's, as you say, fuming for that long, then that photo could be taken at any time in that time frame during which cleanup is happening. So the reason I'm asking about focal lengths is distances can appear different based on focal lengths. And at the time of the photo, if cleanup has already occurred or has been occurring for whatever amount of time, that could, of course, change the amount of rubble that's still on the ground as you take it away. But I don't want to. Yeah, that'll come up. That'll come up.
No, we know, but you can see the photos. These ones is probably a day or two after, or because you have all the people. And initially, they would do is they didn't want to they didn't want to bring any of the big cranes and so on, the big machinery to do the cleanup at the beginning because they were scared that they might crush people in there. So
who is they specifically? If I'm just taking some notes.
The cleanup crew. What I mean is initially they were doing the cleanup by hand. That's why you have a whole bunch of people because they didn't want to crush any of the possible people inside the debris.
Okay, and oh no, it's fine. I was going to ask for the source, but I don't think it's ultimately going to matter.
Well, you can go these stuff here. Like this one, I put the compilation here, but I have links to the other ones. What I do is if you want to see each one here, I have, for example, the heat one here. I have a giant X thread. Heat. Okay, so this is why if you go to MES links, you can see my threads on everything. 9/11 Truth. Go right here. Very little heat on 9/11. The link's they're pretty straightforward. You can see this one here. This was in memoriam September. Okay, I got this from their Facebook page to see this one here. In memoriam. Where does this one go? In memoriam September 11th. Okay, this was on 9/11. I think this was ground zero on 9/11. This is in memoriam September 11th post. So you can go and look for the exact one. But this is on 9/11.
Are they the original source of that image? Or
no, but you can have a look for them.
Sure, I can.
No, but we can do that right now if you want. We'll just do we'll do a quick image search.
We can find the original.
NY Mag 10th. So that's the thing, like finding the originals. Find more exact image in case you forgot. This was okay. That was that. Okay. So yeah, volunteer page. Yeah, so I would if I was betting man, I would say the day after, not
Gotcha. The reason I asked, there's someone in my chat saying the post was in October. I don't know if that's
it would not be October because you wouldn't have a whole bunch of people like on foot there moving stuff around. I think they only did that because they were worried people might get crushed, and I think like probably a week max you'll have a whole bunch of cranes and so on. You're not gonna have a whole bunch of people walking in like that. And this, but again, they also the point I'm trying to make is they all show the same thing. You can see the photos before, after. Okay, this one here. This is, I think, on the day. There is a ambulance truck not even touched. So again, where's the rubble going on it?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one. That ambulance, I have several pictures of that. We see the door appears to be possibly sort of altered on its hinges. The driver window is maybe smashed out, and there are images from different angles that show that the windshield is actually concave, suggesting that something has in fact landed on it.
Oh yeah, but again, that's not the point I'm making. I'm saying it's barely damaged.
No.
Relative,
the point you made was that it was undamaged.
No, not undamaged. It was barely damaged.
Okay, barely.
You literally have you can see the door. It's like literally a bit twisted. What I'm trying to say is it was not crushed by 500,000 tons of steel and concrete and so on. That's just one tower.
That means that it just wasn't hit by crushing debris, not that there was or was not crushing
it's like flipping a coin, right? You could flip a coin. Oh, you got heads, but yeah, if you do it a million straight times, something's up with it. Okay, this is not a normal scenario. This is
so. If this is a coin flip, I have a coin right here. Well, I've dropped it, but I have a second coin. I got a pile of these guys.
Okay, now we're doing coin.
And if we do a coin flip, one could assume 50-50. That's going to be either heads or tails. So do we assume that there's a possibility that this wouldn't be destroyed by a falling building if there's a possibility that it was essentially akin to a coin flip?
No. I thought a million coin flips in a row
would give you the same probability. That would
a million
more
coin
accurate,
flips.
50-50.
A million coin flips in a row, all having heads.
Based on what? What are we assigning the probability of that
But
to?
again, we could discuss probability stuff. I'm just saying that's how I feel this one is. Okay, this literally looks. This is literally a. We're talking ginormous buildings, and we'll show you the sphere as well.
We are.
But again, if you want to do a probability analysis of it, we could add probabilities to see how stuff will fall here. This tool will just yap until I get some people calling you out. But anyways, guys, keep it civil in the chat. All right. So anyways, this one here. The only thing is, this one. There was I think someone made a video of how far it was. It was, I think, it was a bit of a distance, but again, it's still like, it's still barely. Again, it's barely damaged. This is just a tiny bit of. This is one piece of evidence, not just there's a million pieces of evidence. It's barely damaged, and it's towering above a lot of the rubble. Like you could see, literally the rubble all beside it. It's literally just ground level, and then you go all the way across there. The lobby is right here. This lobby is above it, and it's somehow vertical. So those exterior columns are just somehow vertical. So again, the whole idea is you're seeing very little rubble. Oh, these are just links. Okay. And now here's another one. This is a Miracle Stairwell B full documentary. This is day of. You can see people walking. I'll show the video soon. And it's literally, we're talking seconds after tower fall, and then you got just people, seconds or minutes after. Anyways, before the North Tower fell, people were just walking right beside on the ground. Yeah, this one here, these are on 9/11. You can see the Miracle Stairwell B. They survived, and I think that's the North Tower maybe. But and again, okay, Jackson Rip Holmes says Blue Bacon's not an honest person. Again, guys, probably.
We are allowed to have opinions.
Yeah.
We're allowed to feel like things are or are not true. I'm not going to debate that.
No, it's all good. You could do as you please. But anyways, guys, let's stick to the stuff here. Okay, so here's another one. This is the sphere. The sphere's towering about a bunch above most of the debris, and it's not crushed. And then the only thing that's sticking out is just the exterior column, and the rubble is below in the lobby. Okay, there is the sphere right there. This was in the center of the WTC. There's a Liberty Plaza sphere. There's the sphere. Keep an eye on that sphere. Okay, and I think you can see the sphere right here. This building, this is 9 stories, 110 stories, 110 stories, 9 stories, and there's 22 stories, and it's right there in the center. All right, and these buildings, 8 stories, towering above the Twin Towers, and the exterior columns, those remaining vertical for some reason, are towering above the whole own rubble inside. And there's the Liberty Plaza sphere. There's a sphere. There's sphere. Again, this one, I would say you have to flip a coin 1 billion times. So in other words, impossible. The reason I say that is like maybe reality is like a hologram. I think you don't like that term, but anyways, but that's the only reason I would even give it 1 billion chance. So basically, there it is, a tiny sphere, and also this is the stairwell B was where 16 survivors were there, and the firefighter Mickey Cross literally said there was a 110-story building above us, and I'm looking up at the sun. Again, this is the center of North Tower.
Oh no, sorry. Some people in my chat are giving memberships, and it's causing these alerts to pop up. I forgot to disable it before the stream, so now I'm mouthing angrily at him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For some reason, I thought you were like laughing at me or something.
No. They're intentionally trying to throw me off right now for their own amusement. So.
All right. Sounds good. Okay. 9/11 planes research is in the house. Okay. So Mark Collins in the house. Let's go. Okay, so these are all the photos there. And then I made a poll. So I made a poll, and the poll was, did I add more photos? Yeah, so the poll says, MES poll, do the above images show the WTC Rubble Pile on 9/11 was tiny? The answer is, yeah, you gotta either do yes, super yes, or obviously why is this a question? Again, why I still don't believe this is a debate. And then I won't share, but so far, super yes is winning, 46%, and then there's a tie for yes and obviously at 27%. All right, so that's my poll, and I'll share the results next week. And so we have that. Let's see, we can keep going. Photos of tiny rubble pile. Okay, so now we have a whole bunch of stuff here. MES, yeah, this is the Twin Towers disappearing, and Stairwell B survivors inside North Tower weren't crushed. And just to give you the magnitude of the scale of the stuff right here, we go over here.
Part 1.
Okay, 9/11 Vision says, jump in on Blue Bacon's stream. Okay, so he's in your stream as well. Someone's commenting. Okay, someone's calling out John Hudson. No, John Hudson's the real deal. He's the absolute real deal. He's a bit autistic though. But anyways, we'll see. I'll fast forward to some of this. Okay, just to illustrate the scale. So this was so this documentary was it was a 10-hour, like actually almost 11-hour documentary made by anonymous people, like literally made it, send it to Andrew Johnson, and then I uploaded it to my channel, and I also started dubbing over because a lot of it was just muted. So I started dubbing over and making little sections of it. So we'll play some of this. I will go over to the size of the WDC. And another point is each of the Twin Towers weighed 10 Titanics. All right. So we have 20 Titanics in the Twin Towers alone, and then I think the Building 7 is like 200,000 tons, or yeah. So that's about like 4 Titanics. So we should have at least 24 Titanics minimum, and then the other buildings probably another 5 Titanics and so on. Anyways,
the scientific method.
Okay, let's go back.
Feet wide, 8 feet, 1,368 feet tall. Each floor was 1 acre in area. WTC1 was 208 feet wide.
Okay, this is, let's fast forward this one here. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, this is the size of it. It's going to be before and after, and you'll see the before and after. I don't know why it just starts scrolling it now. Okay, so it's going to be before and after. Again, when I press it, it just scrolls down. Okay, so there is the floor 1, 2.
The lobby of WTC1 was higher than most of the debris.
Yeah, so there's 500,000 tons, and then there's the lobby standing above. So again, so that's that. Let's see if I can keep going. And then there's the size of it. So this is missing in 9/11. this amount of steel is missing. Let's keep going further.
Building material did not collapse.
Okay, these are Stairwell B survivors literally inside. So yeah, this is the lobby. This is where they survived. No rubble landed on them. So we got 500,000 tons moving at literally as fast as gravity, because there's no resistance, going at free fall speed somehow.
There was a little bit of resistance. The free fall speed at best was only near the end of the collapse.
From the top, right from the initiation, according to NIST as well, there's barely any resistance. I can show you the NIST document.
Barely any resistance implies there was resistance.
Yeah,
which suggests
barely.
It was not free fall speed. Yeah,
barely.
So I mean, it fell. And then it gained momentum with the weight, and of course there's. I mean, you're a math channel, so you know about how velocity and mass affects force. So as that increases, by the end of it, it's certainly going to be less prone to being resisted against.
Yeah, but again, that's not the issue. The issue is it's barely any resistance. In other words, for example, this is the billiard ball. We'll jump into it right now because you brought it up.
Well, I'd hate to detract from or take away or distract from the rubble, which is the main topic of this discussion.
Yeah, but it's in the flow. It's in the flow. So, for example, if you just had a bowling ball falling down, it was let's see, it was roughly the same speed. It was like probably a split second. Let's see how long it'll take you. So 8 seconds. This was the bowling ball right here. So if you just drop a bowling ball, it would fall down in 8.79 to 9.22 seconds, depending on your speed of gravity you pick, and zero air resistance. So if, in other words, just zero air resistance will go down there about 9 seconds. And then what was the speed that this fell? How much seconds? If you could refresh my memory.
I don't have that in front of me because I was just planning on debating the size of the pile.
Okay. Okay. This was one thing. Well, this was a seismic signals that she showed that the North Tower collapsed too. Yeah, the North Tower. The ground shook according to the seismic data for 8 seconds. Yeah. So basically, if you look at the seismic data, how much the ground shook?
Seismic data is a different topic as well.
I know, but I'm saying the ground shook 8 to 12 seconds. But anyways, let's see what the thing was. Okay, I'll go to the NIST one. I just didn't because I only put most of the stuff as most of the stuff as just the rubble stuff. So this is according to NIST. NIST says that, let's say, free fall. Yeah, so this is NIST. According to NIST, since the stories below the level of collapse initiation provided little resistance to the tremendous energy released by the falling building mass, the building section above came down essentially in free fall, as seen in video. So again, essentially in free fall.
And what's the source of this?
This is NIST, NIST.gov.
This is from NIST.
This is NIST.
And they say the entire fall of the towers was essentially free fall.
Yes. Okay,
so, because I've read the report, and it suggests that the end was essentially in free fall.
Oh no, it's all in free fall. Yeah.
Now you said about 12 seconds of fall.
No, that was 12 seconds. The ground shook on one of the stuff. Some of them is 8. That was the ground. But let's see seconds.
So different measurements. We're getting different measurements.
The spike began. No, those were the ground shaking. That's the seismic.
So is it 8 or is
9
it 12?
and 11? So 9. Okay, how could the WTC towers collapse in only 11 seconds? WTC 1 and 9 seconds. WTC 2. So you have 2 seconds.
And the billiard ball fell at 8.
No, billiard ball is 9.2. So in other words, WTC 2 was, if you're just using absolute 9 seconds, that's faster than free fall. If you're using WTC 1, that's 2 seconds, or less than 2 seconds, 1.78 seconds faster. In other words, you have the maximum 2 seconds of resistance. So to give you an example of what that means is, this is the billiard ball example where Judy Wood actually got that published and peer reviewed as well.
She didn't get it peer reviewed. She got it published.
I think she got it in some peer reviewed journal. You'll have some random ones, but anyway.
I've read some of the peer review that says that she's gotten it wrrong. But I mean, if that's what you mean by peer reviewed, where they say no, she's gotten her data incorrect, then yes.
No, again, no. No, I'm just saying from what you said. But anyways, she's obviously right.
I wouldn't say obviously right, considering the fact that people are saying she's wrong.
A lot of people are saying a lot of stuff. She's also banned from Wikipedia.
Oh, a lot of people say a lot of stuff.
I'm saying she's right. I'm saying she's right. I'm saying you're right.
Well, I agree with you there.
But she's obviously right. No, but what I mean is she's obviously right.
Won't agree with that, but I will agree that you are saying she's right.
No, I know, but that's assumed, okay? But she's obviously right. We're not doing this whole video for no reason.
See, obviously, we're not.
Okay. Anyways, we're not doing semantics already. We already have the whole time I'm quoting. So, anyways, for those in the audience, especially Blues ones, buy her book. Absolutely mind-boggling. The level of detail is literally second to none. It's the most important book right now in the world. Just grab it. Anyways, so the next part is to illustrate the billiard ball example. So if you have 110 floors, if you just drop a ball, and then every floor stop and then drop it again, it's gonna take how many minutes it's gonna go down. That's a billiard ball example. What it's basically saying is that if you drop a ball, and then if free fall speed is 9.22 seconds, if you drop it, and let's say there's 0 resistance for, let's say this is every 10 floors. So let's say every 10 floors there's a pancake, and then you reset the calculator, the timer again. So if you drop for 10 floors, zero resistance, not essentially zero resistance, and then every 10 floors do it again, dropping another one, every one, it's going to take 27.8 seconds. That's every 10 floors. Imagine you literally had hollow for 10 floors and it's going down, 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 and then you reset. So in other words, it's near zero resistance. If you did it every second, it would take, every floor. If you had quote pancaking every floor, it would take 87.9 seconds. I actually have an Excel sheet. I confirmed this when I was going to do a video on this. But again, a lot of stuff is pretty straightforward. Okay, yeah. So in other words, it's going down as fast freefall is according to NIST as well.
I have the NIST. I have their, I believe their summary of the report. I think their FAQ section. If I may read some of it to clarify.
Yeah, just go read it.
All right. So the question is, how could the WTC towers collapse in only 11 seconds for WTC1 and 9 seconds WTC2, speeds that approximate that of a ball drop from a similar height in a vacuum with no air resistance? So that is what you've brought up. And the response from NIST is, NIST estimated the elapsed time for the first exterior panels to strike the ground. So not the entire collapse, but the first exterior panels to strike the ground after the collapse initiated in each of the towers to be approximately 11 seconds for WTC1 and approximately 9 seconds WTC2. That is not the entire towers collapsing. That's when the first bit of debris hit the ground, not the entire building. In fact, they do cite the what is it? Hold on, I have it here. 15 to 25 seconds is how long some of the building was still standing after the initial collapse began. So your length of time is closer maybe to 25 seconds than it is to 9, because that 9 to however many seconds was merely when the first bit of debris hit, not when the towers stopped collapsing.
Okay, I don't have stood. No, that's not what it was. Again, you're misleading
From
your
video
audience.
evidence, significant portions of the cores of both buildings,
yeah,
roughly
that's
60
a
stories
spire.
of WTC1 and 40 stories WTC2, are known to have stood 15 to 25 seconds
we'll
after
show that.
collapse
We'll show that.
initiation
Okay.
before they too began to collapse.
All right.
Neither the duration of the seismic records nor video evidence due to obstruction of view caused by debris clouds are reliable indicators of the total time it took for each building to collapse completely. Now, since you're citing this, I feel like we should give a better sort of amount of information of what they're actually saying instead of cherry picking bits and pieces from it.
All right. So since you cherry picked nonsense, absolute nonsense. I'll show you.
I gave the full paragraph.
Okay.
I can give you.
Congrats.
Paragraphs
Are you gonna? Okay. I'll let you speak. Okay. If you anything more before I show you.
Let me pull up the seismic data. We have these elapsed times based on precise time of the initiated collapse, video evidence, ground motion, seismic stuff, etc., etc., etc. Scanning the page for the seismic. All right. In other words, the momentum, which equals mass times velocity. You understand how that works. Of the 12 to 28 stories, WTC1 and WTC2 respectively, falling on the supporting structure below, which is designed to support only the static weight of the floors above and not any dynamic effects due to the downward momentum, so greatly exceeded the strength capacity of the structure below that the structure below, was unable to stop or even to slow the falling mass. The downward momentum felt by each successive lower floor was even larger due to the increasing mass. From video evidence, etc., 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 which is the part that I said initially. That was the paragraph leading into it.
All right. So basically, you're saying increasing mass, and somehow it's initially there's higher resistance, and then lower and lower and lower. I'm saying there's. Yeah.
Well, initially there is more resistance than by the end of it. What I'm saying is that the collapse of the towers could have been as long as 25 seconds because the numbers you're using are when the first bit of debris first hit the ground, not when the entire tower stopped collapsing.
It's getting a bit sad. It's like talking to someone, knowing
you brought up the NIST report, and I read it to you.
All right, let's go look at the spire. Okay, it's like when you're dealing with you, what I've noticed is that you cherry pick statements, NIST reports, my statements.
I will read more of the paragraph to you. I will read the entire answer.
I can show you what they're talking about.
If you have concerns about cherry picking, I will give you every piece of data from their response.
All right.
If that is your concern.
All right. Anyways, it's getting a bit sad.
You gave a sentence. I gave 2 paragraphs.
All right. Blue, it's becoming a bit sad right here. All right. Anyways, let's go back to the dustification in free fall, and then what they're talking about is a spire. They're talking about the spire. Oh, now you have a fallacy symbol there. Oh,
I'm calling it like you did. Go on.
So anyways, the towers fell in free fall, the initial portion, and then the 900-foot core columns stood still for literally no reason, and then they turned to dust.
With no reason.
All right, and then they turn to dust in free fall faster, and actually a bit faster in free fall. So this is what this Blue Bacon guy is saying. Anyways, for those,
that's what NIST is saying, and I'm just giving the information for them.
Stop saying things out of context. Okay, so here's what NIST is saying.
I'll give you the other paragraphs. I'll read the entire thing.
You can see my screen, right? Or you want to read, or you want to see what the evidence is? You want to read what they're saying? Do you want to see what they're writing?
I will read the entire report from NIST that I assume you're taking from. If we are concerned about cherry picking, I'll give you all of it.
So do you want me to show you what NIST is writing about, or no? Do you want me to show you what they're talking about? Do you want me to show you?
I have it right in front of me.
No. Do you want me to show you? All you're seeing is text.
Yes, show that, and then if I may do my bit, because I've given you an hour now. But show me that.
Okay, we'll show you this one here. This is what NIST is talking about. So here is also note the electromagnetic interference. So here's the North Tower falling at essentially free fall speed, again, and we'll go through a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, so there's the and it's falling. Okay, it's falling into dust, it's falling to dust, and you see a whole parts falling down into dust, and then it hits the ground. Yeah, so they're saying, okay, that's the timer. Now you'll have this standing. So in other words, okay, so we went through that in 11 seconds, and now this is what NIST is saying. Oh, look, it's actually 25 seconds. Yeah, because this is the second part, the core column spire. You can see in my compilation. Again, I've sent you this link, so you know all about this. So
well,
it's
what
like,
that's telling me is that the building didn't collapse in its entirety in 9 to however many seconds.
Anyways, Blue, you don't need to. You can lie to your audience, just don't lie to me. We already know this. Anyways. Go back here. So now we have the spire.
Yes, I am, Michael.
And then it turns to dust. Actually, a bit faster than freefall. I put an actual timer here. So here's an actual steel bridge falling.
Okay.
With no resistance, and you can see it landing. Okay, so this is the actual demolition, and it hits the ground with no resistance. And now what I started doing was I put a comparison. So I put this exactly timer. This one's falling at free fall. This one is going at the same speed. And this is nearly, so the Eiffel Tower is about 1,100 feet. This one's 900 feet. So in other words, this core column spire, it's all steel, like most of it's steel, and it's been standing for decades, literally like 33 years. I think that's how many years, 33 or plus minus. Anyways, it's standing for decades. All of a sudden, all the buildings around is gone, and now it has literally like 400,000 tons of material gone. Like it's not carrying any load anymore. And then it just falls into either a 900-foot hole or turn to dust. And there's no 900-foot hole there, and it's not on the ground.
What? Where's the 900-foot hole coming from?
Okay, so Blue, anyways, stop talking nonsense. I'm saying there's
I'm genuinely trying to figure out where your 900-foot hole comes from.
It's like dealing with a liar. Okay, anyways, I'm saying there isn't. I'm saying
we're hitting that again. Ad hominem fallacy.
Oh my. Oh,
go on. Where's this 900-foot hole coming from?
I said there isn't a 900-foot hole. I said it's
then
either there's a 900-foot hole in the ground, or it turned to dust, and certainly not in the rubble. Anyways, this is the Eiffel Tower. Is there an Eiffel Tower in the? Okay, and Zodiac says, yeah, he's cooked. Blue Bacon got wrecked. But again.
Well, I haven't really had a chance to speak. So.
Okay, Judy you got this. MES has been talking for an hour, talking about disrespect. Well, he can show as well. But anyways, show the spire here, and. I think this part it got you a bit rattled up. And here's the spire.
I disagree.
Okay, so we'll show this ending part, and then you can go and present your stuff.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, show this one here. Here's the tower turning to dust. Yeah, this one here. So there's the free fall, and then there's a second free fall. So basically what this is saying, there's a free fall, and then a second free fall. All right. So it's peeling like a banana. So and then now you have these turning to dust. You have the core columns turning to dust on the side, and now you have this standing 900 foot. And this is like as tall as the tallest building in downtown Vancouver where I live. Okay, it's falling down. And yeah, it falls to dust. And here's slow motion, and you can just see it. So again, it peels like a banana, free fall speed. Everything's turning dust, and nothing's on the ground, or barely anything. And now you have these turning to dust right in front of our eyes. And there it is, vanishes into dust. And now you have this 900 foot spire. WTC1 is 1,300 feet. Eiffel Tower is 1,000 feet. And this is, I think, taller than Building 7. I think, yeah, Building 7 is 610 feet. So it's taller than Building 7. It's falling with literally no resistance, like actually no resistance, and possibly slightly faster than free fall speed. So again, you can show your audience this, and if they genuinely don't see through this, like this is absolutely ridiculous, advanced tech, then we have a sad world. Anyways, and there's a Paul Hellier.
Five.
Oh, all right,
If I may, then, since that's the end of that clip, I can bring up. There's a lot of dust. Yeah, concrete becomes dust. Here's a video from Hacksmith. If you ever seen that channel, wonderful channel. The video here, they are hitting concrete blocks with an axe. It's their Thor workout. It's a lot of fun. This video here, they're actually using Wolverine claws that they've made to punch through concrete. Now that is the force generated by a person managing to make dust from concrete. So I have no problem that there's dust in this. But a lot of your evidence seems to be it looks like, and you're using photos, and you've brought up the fact that I have said, well, maybe you're just not using the right photos. So if I may, this right here, this is a photo, and it's during cleanup. There's still about 660 million pounds of rubble in this photo.
No, there isn't. Yes, go on.
There isn't 660 million pounds of rubble that's shown from this, this specifically. Because to quote, I believe you quoting Dr. Judy Wood, it's been dustified from a directed energy weapon. Is that, and that's what you believe?
Oh yeah, it was obviously a directed energy weapons. Yeah.
So this rubble shows dustification.
No, this okay. Where is this photos from? Where is this one?
That's a great question, because it's not the World Trade Center. I'm glad you brought that up. It is actually the J.L. Hudson department store, but you did not know that initially. You said, no, that's not 660 million pounds of rubble.
No, I'm just saying which one is it?
I think we can
but it's still
say
not.
It's not. It's, well, of course it's not. It's in Detroit.
No, but
so
even then,
what
it's
we
not.
can establish is it is, though. This is a controlled
it's still tiny
in
rubble.
Detroit.
No, but it's still tiny relative to the.
So, yes, but this is 660 million pounds of rubble. That's why I explicitly said that number. You said no, it's not.
Million?
So, million pounds.
600...
What we're seeing here is
pounds.
a 660 million pound.
Okay, I've been talking
building.
about tons the whole time. Okay.
This is correct. Yes. What I'm doing is saying that maybe it looks like is not accurate
I'm just
enough.
saying
So
that.
how do we deal with accuracy if we can't use it looks like? Because I think that is an accurate way. Because I don't have X-ray vision. I'm not Superman. Some people seem to think so. I'm talking to some of you in my chat, which is, whoa, hey, I gotta buy me dinner first. But if we instead use a little bit of math, and you've done a little bit of this, where we look at the volume of the materials themselves. So the steel per tower is about 100,000 metric tons of steel. 1 cubic meter of steel is 7.9 metric tons, which means 100,000 metric tons is 12,658 cubic meters. Now, you're with me so far. You're a math channel, right?
I asked you for this stuff before. You never said
That's
anything.
too bad. You can check it afterwards. Now, the concrete per tower was 390,000 tons, and 1 cubic meter of concrete is 2. If it's wrong, call me out, by all means. But I double checked this. I had other people look it over. And obviously, if I have other people say it's right, it must be right? Because that's one of your arguments. Now, the concrete per tower, 390,000 tons. 1 cubic meter of concrete is 2.4 metric tons. And so 390,000 metric tons is 162,500 cubic meters. Now, that means our total volume is 162,500 cubic meters plus 12,658 cubic meters, which is 175,158 cubic meters, accounting for the steel and the concrete. Now, you said there's a lot of steel in here. There's a lot of concrete. I'm going to say, you know what? Let's give me more to work with. The more I have to account for, the harder it is for me to establish that this rubble is the correct amount of rubble. So I am thinking we round it up to 200,000 cubic meters, because right now all I got is 175,000. So let's make this more difficult for me with 200,000 cubic meters of rubble. And we know each tower was at a minimum 63 by 63 by 414.5 meters. So 63 by 63, that's its base. 414.5, that's its height in meters. That suggests that the approximate above ground volume was 1,645,150.5 cubic meters. Now, 200,000, that is our, of course, size of or volume of materials, is approximately 12% of 1,645,150.5, which suggests that 88% of each tower was in fact empty space. On the left, we see the lobby. On the right, we see cubicles. A lot of empty space. In fact, the World Trade Centers, they're kind of famous for that, for having this very open air concept building, having a design where that was able. It's very exciting for them, good for them, but we're not done with our math. If you stick with me for a second, let's calculate a rectangular cuboid, perfectly compressed, take all that air out. So we have 110 floors per tower. The average height per floor, given a building height of, again, 414.5 meters, is 4.15 meters. The area of the tower's base was 63 by 63 meters, which is 3,969 square meters, which I think you might have already shown. So if you think that's wrong, you let me know. Now, compressing the tower is 200,000 cubic meters divided by 3,969 square meters, giving us a height of 50.4 meters if all empty space is removed. Now, earlier, you said that the rubble height was about 15% of the towers. Is that correct? Of their standing height? About
no.
15%?
I said that I would assume that the Twin Towers, if I was to estimate, I would go 15% minimum.
Okay.
What it should be. No, if it actually fell, if there was an actual gravity collapse.
Okay, so you think that it should be, because 15% of the tower's height is 62.2 meters tall. Mm-hmm. That's 15% of the towers. You think the rubble pile should be 62.2 meters tall. Is that correct?
Minimum. It's about
you want to lock that in?
Floors? 15
Perfect.
Floors
Let me, 15 floors minimum, which would be, what is that, 62.2 meters tall. We'll lock that number in. I appreciate you playing along. Now, once we compress the tower, we have 50.4 meters of height, except, as you brought up the bathtub, and the bathtub is not the basement, but the basement's in the bathtub. Each tower had a 21.4 meter deep basement. So if we take, and we just had Thanksgiving, so I'm going to use a cranberry sauce reference. So you take that cylinder of cranberry sauce out of the can, you shoop. What if you put it back in, we slide our cuboid back in there, then that gives us a new above ground height of 29 meters. So we have 63 by 63 by 29 meters of perfectly compressed building. That gives us an above ground volume of 63 by 63 by 29, which is 115,101 cubic meters. If it is perfectly compressed, we're not done yet. So this is an image, I want to say it's from FEMA. Fortunately, the text is a little too small for me. It's a diagram showing the areas of collapsed debris impact based on pictures, based on satellite, based on a lot of things. If you think that's wrong, I can pull up real world pictures and confirm this. But we see that there's sort of an inner circle. There we go. An inner circle here of where the most and heaviest debris fell. And we know that the debris went pretty far. A lot of stuff went into the air. Judy Wood herself says a normal building should have 10% dustification in a traditional collapse, but we're going to ignore that for now because that only makes my job easier. A pixel measurement, though, shows that the radius of that inner circle, and you're laughing because I assume you know that you're about to learn something today. We have a diameter of the inner circle of 223 square meters. So the formula, do you know the formula of calculating the area of a circle? Using the diameter?
Yeah, it's diameter. Yeah, it's pi. Is it 4 pi d squared or something? Pi r squared.
It is pi d squared over 4.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So pi d squared over 4 gives us an area of 39,057.1 cubic meters in that inner radius where the heaviest debris fell. Not all of the debris, but I'm going to limit myself to trying to fit all the debris in that area because that works against me. Because if I can say, well, there was more outside of the area, that means that I can just go, well, if it's not enough, it's elsewhere. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say we have to fit every piece of debris into that circle. That makes my job more difficult. So if we take the above ground section of our rectangular cuboid and distribute it perfectly compressed in a disc, like a hockey puck, you're Canadian. I'm trying to make this a little more interactive for you. We would have an average height of 3 meters. That's less than a single story. Mm-hmm. That's weird, right? When we do the math of a perfectly compressed building, but now hold on a second. We know the building didn't fall as a perfect hockey puck, even though you seem to be suggesting that the ground is very flat and therefore should only be 3 meters. But if it's falling in its footprint, which we know it sort of collapsed downward. Did it collapse or did it topple? Quick question. Did it, timber and fall over, or did it collapse downwards?
Are we talking about timber or the Twin Towers?
The Twin Towers. Did it sort of fall over on its side, or did it collapse downwards?
It turned to dust from top down.
Did it topple over, or did it fall down?
Yeah, it fell down into dust. And
it
then
went straight down. Sure.
Yeah, but most of it went into the atmosphere before.
That is your theory.
I can show you.
I'm going to keep using facts. No, we've already seen your videos.
All right.
Now, if we assume it went straight down.
Interesting. All right, go on.
If we assume that it went straight down, because that's what your answer you're giving me is straight down as opposed to, did it fall like a tree falling over? No, it did not. Now, if we had this full of sand and we poured it out, I'm not going to do that because there's a little bit of water in there. It would probably make a cone, right? So maybe that's what the debris is doing. It's making a cone. So if we use, instead of a disc, we use a cone, because that just makes more sense. Well, we should probably figure that out with an image. There we go. An image from the World Trade Centers. And we can see this is sort of, I tried to find one near the side looking in so that we'd sort of get a better idea of where ground level was. And we see they're tiny little people in this picture. And if we assume that they are 1.75 meters tall, which is the average height of a man, and we assume that they are men because I believe most of the cleanup crew and rescue crew were, we can do a pixel measurement and show that this pile is about 14.75 meters tall, which is almost 5 times the height of our perfectly distributed hockey puck of cuboid. Now, that is still less than 62.2 meters total, but if we work with that, we try to figure out, okay, if our height is
this building 3?
14.75.
Is that building 3?
This is one of the, I believe it's one of the towers. It's either 1 or 2.
I think it's building 3 because the towers is behind. This is that stub I showed you beforehand.
Okay, so this is either 1 or 2.
No, this is the building 3. If you see,
perfect. Well, we'll work with that, and I actually have something that will address
remember that stub I showed you.
So if we assume
the exterior columns on the back.
14 point. Yes, we can. So maybe that's part of the pile for one of the towers. So if we work with 14.75 as our height, and we only need 3 meters if it's perfectly distributed, but we're working with a cone here, and we're trying to do some pixel analysis so we're not just doing it looks like, because we know that that's not a great way of measuring. And we use our same radius as before. We get, and I'll pull this up here using the formula of a cone, which is V equals pi r squared height divided by 3. That's an area of 192,031 cubic meters. But we should only have 115,101 cubic meters of perfectly compressed above ground debris per tower. There's too much debris in that photo, but maybe it is the wrong building, right? Maybe I have it from a bad angle. And that, I'm glad you pointed that out, because that establishes that pictures can be used to manipulate what things look like, and you can get it wrong, right?
Or
so
you're doing it
when
on
you're
purpose.
using a picture, or you're doing it on purpose, if it can be manipulated on purpose and you're only showing some pictures but not others, or I'm only showing some pictures, then we might be doing some deception. That would be bad. So what if I use one of your pictures from your videos? Right here, this is from your video where you say the rubble pile is no higher than the lobby. Is this your picture?
This was from the observable evidence, yeah.
This is from, yes.
The video,
yes,
I didn't make the video, but I promote the video,
you
yeah.
promoted it, and that suggests either you're promoting something you know is false, or you're promoting something
it was a great,
true.
It was a great
So
video.
I'm going to assume that you believe what is in here, so that we don't have to assume you're being deceptive on purpose.
Unless you're
now,
but
you
you've
say
already
the
proved
rubble
you were
pile
deceptive.
is no higher than the lobby. Is that what that says?
Rubble pile, no higher than the lobby. That's what that says. But again, is this the real photo?
So if we assume that you used it.
No,
so
I'm just saying.
Is it a real photo or not?
No, I don't know if you.
Are you using fake photos?
No, I'm just saying. Did you do it?
Do you not know if the photos you're using are real?
No, I'm saying. Did you? Because you already were deceptive. You were talking about.
This is to point out a fact.
No, I'm just asking
you. We
you.
can't necessarily rely on what I'm presenting.
No.
So let's use what you're presenting.
No, I'm just asking for your word.
You tell me.
No,
this has been unaltered from your video.
No, that's all I need. That's all I need. Yeah, that's all I want.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we can assume
that's a great that
you believe this is real. I'm glad you asked. That's actually a very good question. So if the rubble pile is no higher than the lobby, let's assume that the rubble pile is as high as the lobby. Do you know what the height of the lobby is?
How high is that?
Let me pull that picture up again. I can tell you. I have it. It's 20 meters. The lobby is 20 meters high. I was only using 14.75. But if you're promoting this idea that's the height of the lobby, that's an extra 6 point whatever meters that I get to work with. So let's do the calculation on the volume of a perfectly compressed cone in the footprint of a single tower. Now, that would be, if I pull it up, 260,380 cubic meters with perfect compression, which is 142,279 cubic meters more than should be possible if the basement was filled, and 60,380 more cubic meters than would be possible if the basement wouldn't. So this picture of yours that you are using to show there's not enough rubble is actually showing that there is, at a minimum, 60,000, what was it? Did I use tons? Cubic meters, 60,000 cubic meters too much rubble if we assume perfect compression. But of course we can't assume perfect compression, but we also can't assume that our radius is the limit, because it wasn't. We know that it went further than that. So we can, yes, say, well, even if the basement was untouched by anything, which it wasn't, even if that, if we account for, you know, a little bit of space between the falling rubble, we have 60,000 cubic meters of space that we can throw in there, not accounting for the 10% of legitimate dust that Judy Wood thinks would come from a legitimate destruction of a tower, and not accounting for the debris that was outside of that inner radius, because that wasn't the only radius, that was the inner radius of where the heaviest debris piles were. Now, I'm not done yet, but I've already established that it could be too much debris. Maybe this is a fluke. Maybe it's just a single pile. The towers were adding to each other. So I have the LiDAR data too. And I have that here. We can see that this is, in fact, from Judy Wood's book. This is a screenshot of it, a photocopy of it, because I have that as well. And to my viewers, if you want a copy of the book, I can lead you to where it is on the internet. You won't have to buy it. We have this. This is a 3D render of the exact thing you had printed. It's also a 3D STL file that you would put into a 3D printer right here. If we take that, and this is scaled to scale, I checked 3 buildings to make sure that they were the height that is listed as their official height, to confirm that they were at the correct point and that this was scaled properly, and then, you know, set to ground level. If we take that red sheet that we have here behind it and we move it to 14.75, which again is less than what you thought it was, we see that there are in fact multiple piles. This isn't a single pile. We have a pile, if I move out of the way here, we have a pile here, we have a pile, and it's difficult to do backwards, we have a pile here, and is it a cone? Well, if we have that height, yes, we can see that there's still some conical stuff. The height piles or the piles, they do in fact get bigger. So mathematically, if we turn off our it looks like, and we start saying, okay, well, let's actually do some calculations based on not only the LiDAR model that you have 3D printed, which is very cool. I think that's very neat. But we look at what your assumptions are, and we actually apply the math to it, which, you being a math channel who dabbles in conspiracy, kind of surprised you didn't do, but that's my personal opinion, not a presentation of fact that refutes anything that either of us has said, I would hope. I would think that this would be very easy to do. This doesn't require that degree that you have, the multiple degrees that you have. That doesn't require, this is high school level math. And it proves that there is more than enough rubble based on your own numbers.
All right. So let me just grasp what just happened.
Sure.
So you're saying that the 110-story building was compressed in a disc?
No.
Or
I'm saying that would be unreasonable. I'm saying if it was perfectly compressed into a disc, it would be 3 meters tall. But if we assume a perfectly compressed cone, which is more accurate to what we're seeing, it would be over 200,000 square meters of rubble, which is 200,000 being the limit of what we might presume based on the building materials, plus 15,000 to account for other stuff.
So anyway, so what's the radius? What's the height of your perfectly condensed cone?
According to you, 20 meters.
So you're saying
that was the number you gave.
No, I'm saying according to, what's your thingy that you're saying? So you're saying that there's a 20-meter cone that was compressed somehow.
No, I'm saying that if mathematically we make that assumption and we have it perfectly compressed in a cone at the height that you say, at the radius that FEMA is saying, which doesn't account for the debris outside of the main debris field, we can perfectly compress it to that. And so at a minimum, we would have more than enough debris. Now, if we then assume, okay, well, what if the pile wasn't perfectly compressed? That gives us, not accounting for the basement, which I know you don't think debris went into, and not accounting for the debris that went outside of that radius.
There's barely anywhere.
That gives us over 60,000. I disagree, but that gives us over 60,000. If nothing went into the basement, 60,000 cubic meters of rubble, of space in the rubble, to counteract our perfect compression.
Okay.
Now, it obviously wasn't perfectly compressed. What I'm giving you
it's 20
is
meters
a
perfect compression.
minimum maximum. No. I'm not saying
no.
perfect
I'm just so perfect.
I'm saying that if we assume perfect compression, that's how much. Obviously, there wasn't perfect compression.
Obviously,
that gives
it's
us
nowhere
without
near.
the basement.
Yeah.
It gives us without the basement 60,000 cubic meters of extra space to work with.
Anyways,
with the basement, it gives
meters.
us significantly more.
Okay.
And that doesn't account for the dust that Judy Wood said would be in a legitimate demolition. And it doesn't account for the debris that is outside of that radius, that we know to be outside of that radius.
Right.
I have given myself a more difficult task by saying, we're not going to account for this big area. We're going to shrink it down to where only the biggest pile was. I've made it more difficult for myself, and I've still given you 60,000 without the basement cubic meters to play with when it comes to the compression of the building. You don't have the math, I assume, to back this up, because you're laughing. What I've done
I apologize.
is establish that
I have a
there is
problem.
enough.
I have a problem. I just laugh.
I agree. I agree.
I laugh when absolute nonsense. Oh my goodness. Anyway.
That's math. You're a math channel. Did I do my math wrong?
You did life wrong. But anyways, so
Did I do my math wrong? Did I do? That's a ad hominem fallacy. Did I do my math wrong?
All right. So we got fallacy guy throwing stuff out.
You are the fallacy guy. I'm just calling you on it.
So this is why you didn't send me the Excel sheet.
Well, we never agreed to. What an Excel sheet? I don't have an Excel sheet. I have a PowerPoint. We didn't agree that we'd be sharing notes. I didn't look at your notes because I don't care. I have math.
All right, but anyways, I just asked for the stuff. But anyways, so that was
you did, and I ignored you because why would I give it to you?
Yeah, because again, you're not interested in truth or anything.
Fallacy ad hominem attack. Oh, you
right.
hate to see it, ladies and gentlemen.
How do I move this back?
What do you got?
All right, so we're doing live stream. We're trying to cover some evidence, and then we got some absolute.
I'll hit it again.
Yeah, I don't. We'll keep that for next time. But yeah, anyways, so we got.
If I may, I have one more presentation. I have many more presentations to make, but I have something special for all of you, to include you. And if I may, because I'm assuming you don't have anything to debunk the math, I have a little bit of a.
Okay. Absolute ridiculous.
Correct.
Okay, absolute.
And the government didn't even pay me to do that.
Absolute sad. This is one of the saddest.
I agree. I think it is
persons
pretty
I've
sad that you believe that a space laser, ground laser, I'm not even sure, had to dustify a building that you can account for the rubble mathematically. I think that is sad and absurd.
Apologies for everyone in the audience. I thought it would be like at least have some sort of like brain cells. But anyways,
I gave you an hour.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so sorry that the math is what
The
broke
math,
you.
so
a math channel.
Anyways, so the math. MES counter. Anyways, so basically, I just want to. I'll share my screen now to see if you're okay with sharing screen, or have you had your little.
Would you like
photos?
to debate the math?
Well,
is the math wrong?
Well, can you actually go over it a bit more? Because I'm trying to wrap my head around it. So you're saying that let's say 20. We'll talk in floors. So about 3 meters would be a floor. How much?
No,
how much?
4.1 was it? I have that actually. You're
much
getting your floors wrong.
How many?
If we assume that each floor is.
Well, how many floor?
1/110th of 414.5.
I was like 10 feet. 3 to 4 meters in residential in WTC.
And the actual towers, yeah, we can make the assumption based on the height of the building and how many floors there were, that the floor height was 4.15 meters.
Yeah, but anyways, I'm only interested in just to see, not necessarily the math, just to as an exercise, because again, the entire.
Well, I think the math is important.
Well, no, it's not important. The entire thing you did was an.
The math is very important.
The entire
math
presentation.
establishes you're wrong. Of course, you think the math is important.
The entire presentation
was. You're incorrect.
The entire presentation was an absolute mockery of humanity. Okay, but anyway.
The entire. Oh, that's another fallacy.
All right, so we got. We're here to number. That's why I said put a quotation debate. Absolute weird nonsense.
Yeah, usually the other side you're debating has something to debate. Unfortunately, I don't think you brought anything like that to the table.
So we're here to quote debate. No, not necessarily debate, just to actually go over stuff. So anyways, so 3.7 high meter. Let's
nope.
We'll do some.
Nope. 4.15.
Well, we asked right now on online. It says 3.7 each floor. This is according to the AI. What is the World Trade Center?
According to the AI. See, I'm calculating based on the height and divided by the number of floors.
Well, you can just
ultimately I didn't really use the number of floors because I didn't need to.
No, it's gonna be a bit less because the lobby is like much. I think they count the floors above the lobby. They don't count.
Oh.
So the lobby is actually, I think, separate. So anyways, you have to redo your math possibly.
No, well, the height's the same regardless. I used height instead of floors because that just makes more sense to use the actual height in meters as opposed to calculating using floors.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, yeah. So
I'm not doing the area of the base in floors.
Okay. So you just did it that way. Okay. Yeah. So you had it. That's why I was wondering how. Okay. So basically, you're doing 4.1 meters. Again, it's more of an exercise just to wrap my head in the absolute nonsense. Anyways, so yes, just. We won't have this again. This is absolute ridiculous. Okay, let's see. Let's see. How tall? Let's ask ChatGPT right now. I'm gonna share my screen. We'll do some. We'll see. We'll do it with ChatGPT just because again, you didn't give me the stuff, so I didn't have.
Well, I used your number for the height, I believe.
Yeah, but I asked you to just show me the stuff, so at least we'll have something where we don't have where I'm just.
It was on my screen the entire time. If you look at the height of the building,
your face was covering the screen, and your talking was covering the screen. Okay.
The talking is not a visual aspect of what's happening.
Well, it hurts my brain cells listening to you. But anyways, let's continue.
I believe it does.
Yeah, it's absolute.
I will agree with you on that.
Anyways, just press your fallacy button. It's.
I'll press this one instead. I got buttons.
All right. Yeah. So, anyways, let's continue here. Let's ask we'll try to work with ChatGPT just to entertain you. You see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, just because I wrap my head around what in the world just happened. So at least make it somewhat presentable because you don't want to look at evidence and so on. So we'll just.
I did the math, so
you did the math.
I don't know who's not looking at evidence.
Okay.
If you would do me a favor, if you would ask ChatGPT if the towers are destroyed by directed energy weapons, that would be wonderful. So we can sort of gauge the accuracy of ChatGPT here.
Anyways, we'll get to.
We're not.
We already know the answer, unless I probably trained. I should have one trained.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Anyways, stop talking nonsense. Are we gonna go through ChatGPT? We'll go through some of your calculations.
If you want to, sure. Let's see.
No. The thing is, I'm gonna go through it. No, but I want your help on the questions.
Destroyed by a directed energy weapon.
I think I had before now.
And ChatGPT says, no, the Twin Towers were not destroyed by a directed energy weapon. The destruction of the World Trade Center buildings on September 11, 2001 was caused by the impact of two hijacked commercial planes, American Airlines Flight 11 and United Airlines Flight 175, and the subsequent fires that resulted from the crash. The intense heat from the fires weakened the steel structure of the buildings, causing them to collapse. So either you believe ChatGPT is accurate or you don't. But if you believe it's accurate, then that's what
here's what I asked.
That's what ChatGPT says. And if you don't believe it's accurate, then why would you use it for math?
Yeah, for conspiracy stuff, they just repeats mainstream typically. But you can train it to make it say you could train it to tell the evidence. For example, here's a before and after photo.
ChatGPT.com.
So here's I'm on ChatGPT. You can see my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here, what technology, classified or unclassified, could possibly turn these towers to dust, as shown in the before/after images, and it gives its appear to be 3D models before and after. One of them is unclassified technology, structural collapse, energy release. Other one, the energy-based weapons, etc. So yeah, if you don't mention,
are you saying the energy-based weapons are classified?
Well, yeah, the stuff that exists, it's like Hutchison effect and so on.
Okay, so what you're doing is telling me classified information. Is that correct?
Anyways,
no, is that correct? Is that correct?
Anyways, the towers turn to dust.
Because my question becomes, how do you know this classified information? I will not move on from this.
Well, because there's no public tech that turns steel to dust.
But there's private tech that you know about.
9/11 proves it.
But there's private tech that you know about.
9/11 proves it.
But there's private tech that you know about.
9/11 proves that this exists.
That is incorrect mathematically, as we've shown. So
no, we're going over the math right now. Do you want to go over it or no?
What is your source? What is your source? I said I will not move on from this. What is your source for the classified information?
No, the rubble pile. The rubble pile is tiny.
Which we've already shown was not tiny.
No, it's
What
tiny.
is your source?
No.
We've already shown mathematically that you are 60,000 cubic meters above what you need to be
Okay.
in a perfect compression.
What
is your source?
Okay, you're just talking stuff that someone gave you. But anyways,
I did the math myself.
No, I was gonna go over your
source?
math right now. Just to, also, I don't even know what you're saying. Your
What
face
is? I
covering
will
it.
not move on from this. What is your source?
This one right here.
Who is the source of this classified information?
This right here, and speaking about that, yeah, Judy Wood actually had a key tam case against.
So
the,
Judy
Niskin
Wood,
truck.
and she lost. Judy Wood
lost.
is getting information.
So it's like,
yes, it was
it's just put on the
court.
thing.
She lost.
Anyways, so
Judy Wood got information from a source that had this classified information.
In her
Is
key
that what
tam
you're
case
saying?
as well. Anyways,
Okay. Are you saying that Judy Wood had classified information?
Why doesn't it show that I got to sign in?
Are you saying that Judy Wood had classified information?
Just press your nonsense buttons already. Okay.
Are you saying Judy Wood
Oh my goodness.
was sharing? I'm not. Why? I don't
I'm
know.
like
why
having
you
a
think I'm gonna
midlife
move on from
crisis.
this.
Why do I have this
Then answer the
absolute clown
question.
here?
Was,
Anyways,
or was she not sharing this classified information?
let's double check your
Was
math
the
right now.
information she's sharing classified or not?
Anyways, let's double check your.
Was
work
the
right now.
information she was sharing classified or not? I'm waiting on you. This is all you.
Oh yeah,
Was
tower's
it,
turned to dust.
Or was it not classified information?
It's like I don't know what's going on with this guy.
It's like I'm gonna have you answer if you're ready to answer the classified information question.
Yeah, those are all. You just assume it once you see the towers turn to dust.
Are you saying that because turning to dust could be a lot of things? She has said, and you are repeating, that it was some sort of
concrete turning
laser.
to find dust.
So
no one said. No, she doesn't say.
energy
She doesn't say
weapon.
laser. She doesn't
You
say
have
that.
said that.
No.
You have said it was a cold-directed energy weapon, or you have implied that you believe
cold
it to be a
directed
possibility.
energy weapon. Yes.
That is what I said.
Similar
yes.
to the Hudson
So
effect. We can show
where
your
is that
audience.
information coming from?
The Hudson effect is a good example.
Where is that information coming from?
John Hudson has he signed his affidavit. You can see his videos and
Okay,
experiments.
and so he's sharing classified information.
He's showing technology that he did experiments with, and then you could obviously
and
presume.
specifically something that could take down a tower in 2001.
Yeah.
And that would be classified information.
Yeah, he was able to do it, and then it's obviously gonna be classified. With
Okay,
the
so
military
you
and so on.
agree that it was classified information?
Yeah, we all know this.
Okay, well, if you say that this is
I know,
true,
but we're
you're
on
certain.
ChatGPT.
You're certain.
We're double checking.
I
the math.
understand where you're at. I understand where you're at. You are certain that this is correct. You
Yeah,
seem very sure.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
obvious. Oh.
And one might assume that if this information got out, it would be pretty devastating to the American government, right?
Are you even real?
Am I AI? Is all of this a hologram? Now,
release some MK Ultra.
bear with
you were in
me.
a Freemason lodge.
I'm going somewhere.
Anyways, go on.
I've walked through one in a tour. Anyone can if you're in Washington,
Did
D.C.
you sacrifice any babies?
Okay, fine. Now, if this information became public, that the United States committed this attack against themselves, do you think it would be harmful to the United States?
Anyways, yeah. So governments don't exist.
Do you believe it would be harmful to the United States if that information got out?
It's to the world. The governments don't exist.
It would be harmful to the world, of which the United States is the part. Will count that as a yes.
No, world.
Do you know what 18 USC 793 is?
All right. I just don't.
You don't.
What's
Let's say
going
you're
on here?
in lawful possession of classified information that you are sharing, right? Because this is classified. It came from, there was an affidavit and everything. Well, American law, I know, we'll get there. I know your counter argument says whoever lawfully having possession of, access to, control over, or being entrusted with any document, writing, code book, signal book, sketch, photograph, photographic negative, blueprint, plan, map, model, instrument, appliance, or note relating to the national defense, or information relating to the national defense, which information the possessor has reason to believe could be used to the injury of the United States or to the advantage of any foreign nation, willfully communicates, delivers, transmits, or causes to be communicated, delivered or transmitted or attempts to communicate, delivered, transmitted, or caused to be communicated, delivered or transmitted the same to any person not entitled to receive it. So, for example, probably your entire audience, or willfully retains the same and fails to deliver it on demand to the officer or employee of the United States entitled to receive it. Or if you're, conspiring to share this information, shall be punished or shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both. And I assume your counter argument is going to be, well, I'm in Canada. American federal law does not apply. Would you agree with that?
Sorry, I was
American federal
typing some
law
other
apply
stuff.
to you?
I was
I
typing
believe
other stuff. Anyways, so you're saying that there's a law.
Federal law apply to you?
I don't know, and I literally don't care.
Well, it doesn't, because you're in Canada. This is American law. Except, oh no, the U.S. and Canada, they have the extradition treaty with the 1988 amendment, which says extradition shall be granted for conduct which constitutes an offense punishable by the laws of both contracting parties by imprisonment or other form of detention for a term exceeding 1 year or any greater punishment. Now, we've already established under American law it's 10 years. Under Canadian law, though, if you look at the Foreign Interference and Security of Information Act, every person who commits an offense who intentionally without lawful authority communicates to a foreign entity, which would be, I'm a foreign entity. I'm an entity who is foreign from you. Information that the government of Canada or of a province is taking measures to safeguard if the person believes or is reckless as to whether the information that the government of Canada or of a province is taking measures to safeguard. Now, or harms Canadian interests as a result. Now, this is if what you're talking about is Canadian. If there's an equivalent law in Canada that has a punishment of more than 1 year in both Canada and the United States, which there is, you can be extradited and charged. Now, under Canadian law, it's actually life imprisonment up to. So that would be a problem for you. So, are you sharing classified information or not, and how sure are you?
This one?
How sure are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's classified info. Yeah.
You're pretty. So you're committing an extraditable federal offense.
Well, we live in a mafia, like a mob runs the world, so whatever.
I'm sure have that opinion. So what you're saying is you have committed a federal offense by doing this. Now, has anyone ever? If you're paying attention.
The government murders its own people. The laws don't exist anymore.
That's irrelevant. That is a red herring fallacy.
No, wait. So the government murdering its own people. The Constitution doesn't apply. The laws don't apply.
Red herring fallacy. That's not what I'm addressing.
No, but the government murders its own people.
Whether or not that occurs. Does that change the fact that you can be extradited for this statute or for violating this statute?
Oh, what do you mean? But whatever laws are irrelevant. They're irrelevant.
Why would they be irrelevant if you're
violating? Because the government murders its own people. It's like saying
that doesn't make laws irrelevant if it can be applied to you.
No,
you being murdered does not mean you are not committing a crime. That's a red herring fallacy.
No, that's not how it works.
That is absolutely how it works.
No, it's not.
You're murdered by the government, and
if the government murders its own people, right?
Two separate things.
And then they extradite you and put you in prison. That's just the government doing what the government does.
If you're in prison, are you murdered?
No, or they murdered, whatever. What's the difference?
Still alive.
No, but I'm saying the government murdered 9/11.
Does a statute exist that would allow them to extradite you? Yes. Does a statute exist that would allow you to be charged under American law? Yes.
Yeah, my defense is the government killed its own people.
Okay.
And hopefully it gets public.
And even Judy Wood couldn't prove that, and you're citing her information. So why would you do better?
It's obvious. We're going to double check the math.
Yeah, well, the math is
Should we double check it right now? You didn't let me. You didn't send it beforehand.
Well, I just wanted to establish that, you're still kicking around. Nobody's murdered you, which you seem to think is going to happen if the government comes after you. But
I'm saying it doesn't matter.
And this isn't a great argument, but if you're so certain.
It's like the reason you're pulling this whole...
I hope you enjoy your vacation to America.
It's like, I was there actually a few weeks ago. Actually, 2 weeks ago.
They must have missed you.
All right, it's like talking to...
unless this isn't
not talking to a real person.
Made up thing. Yeah, I'm fake. You're right. You got me. I'm AI. Technology is crazy. The government
is like really bad AI.
Yeah.
It's like ChatGPT when it first came out. It was giving all the math answers wrong. Anyways, so
ChatGPT does math wrong. That's good to know. Wonderful.
All right, so but it's pretty accurate now. It's pretty good. I use it for a lot of physics stuff. Okay, so
I bet, but not to determine whether or not the tower is destroyed by a directed energy weapon, because they will say that you are wrong. Go on.
All right, well, so go to Wikipedia, go get your news from whatever there. Anyways, so what we'll do is I will basically take your words as well. We'll ask it, and in each step, let me know if it's right or wrong. Like, okay, so we'll go compress the 110 floor north tower of north tower. Yeah, the WTC North Tower of in New York.
So it can figure out how to compress this, but it can't tell you that it wasn't a direct energy weapon. Can we trust that?
No, I'm just double checking your math. Okay, compress the 110 floor.
If you want to double check my math, do the calculations.
I know, but you didn't give me a chance to go over them because you didn't send me the stuff. So now we're doing it ChatGPT quickly. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't seem like it mattered at all. that if I had given it to you or not, because
No, but I just want to double check as an exercise
Okay.
to see how.
Sure.
Because it
Well, why
obviously
not
doesn't
just do
matter.
the math then? Why use ChatGPT? Why not just do it by hand? You're a math channel. Surely you know how to do high school level math.
Yeah, we can double check right here. It'd be quicker. It'd be interesting because we could ask it many different questions. So compress.
Sure. And if we do the actual math, we get the answers.
Compress the 110 floor WTC North Tower that weighed 500,000 tons into an equivalent disc and cone, and then you removing all the air.
Yes, if you perfectly press it into adjusted building materials.
Okay, and give me the dimensions of each. Let's just see what happens. Okay. Okay, so mass, density, and then we'll just see in meters, just to, because the thing is we could change the units and so on just to make it seem like, and then something we can grasp. Let's see what this says. All right, yeah, so this saves a lot of time. Volume, it's gonna be quite interesting. All right, let's see, yeah, so you wanted me to go over this all live. Okay, so it says here, disk would be 1 meter, and it would be 163.5 meters, but the cone says 50 meter height, no, 100 meter height, and 50 meter radius. Okay, so make the radius. What radius do you want to use though?
Well, why would you use a 50 meter? When we were using for the radius, I believe 113.
113.
If yes, because the pixel analysis of the inner circle, not the full debris circle, but the inner circle of the majority of debris, not all of it, was 223. Sorry, did I say 113? Let me pull that up.
Should we do it? I want to do 208 feet instead. Make the radius.
Well, that's
just so we can have
no. You said 600 was the radius earlier.
No, I'm saying that the radius of the each twin tower.
Yeah. Earlier in the video, you said 600-foot radius.
No, that was
that's
that letter
182.9 meters.
That's the letter G. I said about 600 meters probably. Let's see, from the center, because this is 200
from the
feet.
Tower.
No, if this is 200 feet, another 200. This is probably even less. This is 200 here, 400.
So we're changing.
Probably 500. Again, it's hard to tell which it is.
Yeah, give it a 500-foot radius.
No, that's.
By all means.
No, but that's just tiny rubble pile. What I'm trying to say is, we'll go.
Yeah, use a tiny one.
We'll go into its own footprint.
Small amount you think it is.
No, we'll go into its own footprint first. No, but what I'm saying is the rubble pile is here. This is the rubble pile. This is just like pretty much ground level here.
Oh, we're not talking about. We're talking about the pile now, not if it was shrunk into its own footprint. If you're saying the debris radius was, if you're saying 500 feet now.
All right.
Use 500 feet.
All right. What I'm trying to say right here, this is like ground level, and they're walking on it. And the photo you showed before was a different photo. This is.
Okay, so use 500 feet, and you said 20 meters.
So.
20 meters to feet, whatever that is.
So these are the photos right here. I'll show you the building 3. This is the one that you said, hey, look, it's a big rubble pile. Well, building 3 rubble pile was bigger than the Twin Towers. And the,
yeah, well, that's...
And the building's tiny.
Okay. See, then I used your image that used 20 meters instead.
This is what you showed.
That's not what I showed. I showed it
from a different angle of this one.
Okay, I used this.
Because there was none of those steel weeks. There was none of the steel external.
I used this.
No, the other one. I'm talking about the other one.
Yeah, and this said 20 meters, so I ended up using that instead because that was your number, not mine.
So this one here, so you have most of it is at ground level, and you have like a tiny piece there where survivors were, literally at that rubble pile, which is less than a lobby.
Do you think that maybe when the rubble pile fell, excuse me, let me get my stuff together. When the rubble pile fell, do you think the people rescuing were phasing through the rubble, or do you think they were walking on top of it?
The ones were able to walk after, some of them. Most of the ones, 16 survivors.
So the rescue teams, they walked on top of the rubble, right? Because they weren't phasing through it. They're not X-Men.
I'll have to look if they actually phased through, but they were able to walk. The survivors were able to walk out afterwards, after being rescued. Or they were.
I'm not talking about whether or not they were able to get out. I'm talking about the rubble pile and how big it was.
Yeah.
I know they didn't
stairwell
phase
B
out
was tiny, and it was in the center of North Tower, and it wasn't crushed.
We're talking about the entire rubble pile, not a single stairwell.
Yeah, but that stairwell is not being crushed by anything.
Okay.
So that's the question. So you're first of all, that's why I was laughing like half the time and when wondering and then questioning my existence.
I'm not worried about whether or not that was the strongest stairwell in the world. What I'm trying to discuss with you,
nothing's on the. What I'm trying to say is your whole calculation, because obviously it's complete nonsense. But you're
prove it.
Well, these photos prove it. But anyways,
I'm using your photos. Okay. I'm using your 20 meters.
He's saying using. It's like just look at the photo.
Did I put 20 meters into the calculation?
Those photos have nothing. They don't have a 110-story building compressed into anything. Yeah. That's a great photo. That's
20 meters high is what you're saying. You are saying the rubble pile is no higher than the lobby.
Yeah.
Establishing
that rubble pile. This rubble pile. No.
So, and there were multiple rubble piles.
No, if you look at the exterior columns are taller than the rubble pile.
We can look at the rubble piles at, what is this, 7.375 meters. And let me get you a closer look. And look, there's multiple piles. We got a pile here and a pile here. This is the thing that you have in your kitchen right now, that 3D model. It's the exact same one, just in a computer where I can do very accurate measurements. So if you want to say that, well, one pile is this, one pile is that.
No, we have. I can show the.
And we have a pile here, and all these are above 3.375. Now, if we go to 14.75, which is still less than your 20 meters, we have a pile here. There's a little bit here. There's a little bit here. Now, if you think this LiDAR information is no good, well, then you can't use your 3D print because it's from the same thing.
No, this one, it's the same. It's probably the same thing. I'll show you the video. I'll share my screen right now, so you can see the video of the one where you got from Memorial Museum. But it's pretty much the same thing. But yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. It basically shows barely little rubble anywhere, and you see the building 6 a complete hole in there. And okay, so we'll show switch screens. We'll show here. Yeah, this is the.
There should be even more rubble if there are holes in the ground that rubble's going into, and yet we're still getting 14-meter high piles or 20-meter high piles.
No, inside building 6, there's minus.
Okay, I'm talking about building negative. 1 and 2.
All right, so now we're talking 1 and 2. Okay, first we have building 3.
We've always been talking 1 and 2.
I was talking about all 7. Okay, all 7.
Okay, well, my calculations were for a single tower.
Let's go.
You only have to find
so here it is. Okay, so you can see my screen right here.
Here, and this is just a little trick that I'm going.
Okay, so this is the LiDAR data. The guy that sent me it. So he's gonna zoom in and out. It's similar to that one you showed.
And does he do any measurements, or is it another? Well, it looks like because yes, measurements. That's how you would find this out. It's it looks like it's not enough.
So this one here is below ground.
Math, it's not enough.
Anyways,
does he do measurements?
What I'm trying to show you, these one here, all
your answer, I can't hear you.
all the stuff that are floating above with that water, that's all the ones that show that it's below ground level. So these holes are below ground level.
Trade table back up. Okay, does he do measurements or not?
All right. So anyways,
does he do measurements or not? Are we playing the looks like game?
Anyways, just
we're playing the looks like game. It looks like it's enough rubble to me. I guess we're in an impasse, which is why we did the math.
All right, guys. Anyways, how are those in the chat enjoying this?
How are you in the chat enjoying this?
Yeah, enjoying this.
I'm having a wonderful time. I can't wait to do this again sometime.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I believe it.
Okay, it's one of the saddest things I've ever experienced. But anyways, you have to do what you have to do for work.
For different reasons.
We have to do what you have to do for work, so we'll continue on. So the other one I wanted to show was let's have a closer look at the stairwell B. Stairwell B survivors. Okay, so this one here. We will go into the stairwell B.
I do want to remind you that I can only do 2 hours of this, and you're coming up on
7 minutes.
Oh yeah. Let's.
Oh yeah, just to let you know. Yeah, just so we can put a timer right here, or yeah, we'll put a timer. Let me know how much time you want, and then once we get it, we'll just end it.
Sure.
Give me a timer. You're saying right at 3, so 7 minutes, or anything different?
That would be perfect. Yes.
Okay, 7 minutes. We got 7-minute timer. This shows up in the URL right there. So let's see what we can go through. We have 7 minutes, so we'll go through a whole bunch of stuff. And okay, so we'll go Plexico building. This is a good one. And Seattle Kingdom, actual rubble piles. We'll go and share that, and I will see if I can pop this out. So I will go and let's see what we have here. Yeah, so I also have a 3D model right here. This building right here. This is the Plexico 2017. It was demolished. You can see my screen.
See yeah, sorry. Yep.
Yeah, so because you're doing your usual faces for your.
I'm making faces in the chat. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, but such is life.
Welcome to my channel.
It's a TikTok generation.
Oh, I'm too old for that. I'm an ancient guy.
Okay. So we have so see this.
It's all the children blood that I bathe in with the whatever something. That's a joke. I don't.
It's all right. You could have made the delivery a bit better.
I know. You know. I usually joke about bathing in children's blood, so you know I'll have to
Alright.
practice that one.
Is it children's blood? I thought they like drink the adrenochrome or something.
Yeah. They get that allegedly from children. I couldn't think of the name of adrenochrome.
I don't know if they
Appreciate.
I doubt they would bathe in it because that's too valuable. Like it's they would probably use regular.
It does seem wasteful. I will agree with you on that.
It's like I think do you have like a stand-up comedy in your background?
I've done it once as an emergency.
Oh, really?
For a friend. It wasn't good.
Okay.
I'll give you that. It wasn't good.
Yeah, no,
I did get some, that was an opener for somebody else. And
no, I was saying it as a compliment too. I'm not actually saying it as.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
No, you're funny. I just have like a, I kind of view all like everything as a joke. But anyway, so here is the so this one here is the this is I think that what's that building called? This is the Plexo, 2017 Plasco building, had a bigger rubble pile than WTC Twin Towers. So here's actual evidence. So there's a comparison. You can compare it. I put in the 3D model. I can send it to you if you want to double check. So I got these from a website that gets actually to scale, then I put them all together. So I didn't actually make these because I do not do that. So there's the Twin Towers, and there is the Plexo building. And let's see how, go back now. So now, okay, I'm going to have to view, yeah, so now you can see the Plexo building. This is the one over here. It's absolutely tiny, but then look at the rubble pile there. That's an actual rubble pile. Like, that's massive. And now you can see the Twin Towers. The people are walking literally at ground level. This is the base. So we're talking right here is the base. There's nothing there. There is no, like, giant disc compacted into a cone or some weird stuff. The exterior columns are right there standing. These are the ones at the ground level. These aren't just some random ones that start to spike in there. It's literally at ground level. And there's, I think, is that building 6 or something? But anyways, so this is the rubble pile of the Twin Towers. It's as much or slightly, like at the center of them. I think when they put it together or whatnot. But anyways, that's Plexo building for your audience to see. And this is, this majority of the Twin Towers is less rubble than this one here. And that is this tiny building. This tiny, tiny building, and this is a steel skyscraper, and the steel is going to be way more. And especially with the steel, what's interesting is, because we're not even talking about the demolition, we're talking about if you have a steel right here. Okay, Strawman Falls. You have this Judy person in my chat. I think it's one of your one of your bots or whatever. Anyways, this one right here, the steel skyscraper. If you're not cutting off every single member, there's going to be a literally giant part sticking up because it's steel. It's not going to be just completely go neat and tidy into a tiny disc or cone or anywhere near disc or cone, even if you multiply by 10 plus. Anyways, so that's that. Where does South Tower go? I think we have, how many minutes? 3 minutes. I was going to show, okay, this one right here. So for your audience, this is an absolute mind-boggling video. We'll move this away. Okay, and this is the South Tower, the North Tower. Look at the before and after. We'll play it.
This is 2/3 of the WTC2 South Tower height, a building that weighed 500,000 tons. This is a view from the east side. WTC2 is shown on the left, WTC3 is in the center, and WTC1 is on the right side. Notice the east wall of WTC2. It somehow vanishes, and what could be seen now is the remaining portion of the west wall. WTC3 has also vanished. It was a 22-story building, and its destruction is barely talked about by mainstream media or mainstream alt media alike. WFC2, or the World Financial Center 2, is now visible behind the debris.
Yeah, and there it is. You can see that before and after.
The debris of WTC2 is visible. It is barely above ground level. Where did this once 500,000 ton building go?
All right, and then I think it's it. And then one last video. It's gonna be a short one, and then we'll just
sure. Yeah, I'll give you one more.
Yeah, I'll just pause this one. It's gonna be. I just pause that. Okay, one more, and this one is gonna be the cables. This one cables. This one is. Let's see if I can pull it up. Does he have a Rumble link or anything? Okay, this one here. This is a building. So building 6 Remember that tiny building? So this one right here, building 6. This tiny one. Show my screen. This tiny one right here. This is building 6 right here. This tiny one. The cleanup crew had to demolish it with cables because they were worried it's gonna damage the slurry wall if they actually demolished it.
Oh, we're getting ready to pull building 6.
We had to be very careful how we demolished building 6. We were worried about the building 6 coming down and then damaging the slurry wall, so we wanted that particular building to fall within a certain area.
Well, they've got the cables attached in 4 different locations going up, and they'll be pulling the building to the north. It's not every day you try to pull down an 8-story building with cables.
So 8 stories, they're worried about damaging the slurry wall. And again, as pointed out many times, the rubble pile and the basement's absolutely tiny. 70 feet to ground to bedrock, and it was barely damaged, and so on. And,
that was accounted for my calculations. It was not barely damaged.
It was barely damaged. Do you want me to play the video or no?
We're at
Okay.
the end point. Maybe we do it again. We talk about the damage to the bathtub.
All right.
I
don't think that's gonna happen. But anyways, it was somewhat fun having you on there.
I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I appreciate you letting me do this.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me. Because usually others don't want to even get involved in this. Other agents don't want to get involved.
Not yet. There's still time.
But
they're hiring.
What's interesting is there's more agents that push the explosive demolition stuff, like those Richard Gage and all those guys. You might know him at your Masonic Lodge. He does them as he's definitely a Freemason.
I believe that you believe that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
All right. Well,
all right,
I'm sure I'll see you around, and you have yourself a lovely day.
Yeah, have a good one. All right, and have a good one, and see you. And I'll end the stream right here. All right, guys, thanks for joining the stream, and thanks. All right, that's all, guys. Have a good one, guys. And yeah, I forgot to say, I just typed it, but I didn't say it. Have a great weekend, guys. Not yet. Okay. Yeah, guys. Yeah, have a great weekend. This person's pushing Israeli few demolition. No, don't push that as disinfo. That's as bad as worse than this blue bacon guy. Anyways, guys, have a good one and stay safe out there. And see ya. Oh, and stream.